My talk is performers' engagement in musical interaction with NIME, with a new instrument for musical expression, and this is the work we have done in our research group. It's Sound and Physical Interaction Research Group at Aalto University Department of Media, School of Arts. There's something we know about musical instruments, which we also discussed yesterday during the dinner, that they are a very attractive set of tools, and at the same time they are very much technologically enhanced interfaces of their own times, whether they are traditional instruments or new interfaces. And there is something else also. We know that musicians have always performed skilled tasks with their instruments, meaning mastering, I think we don't have any sound, mastering the control of their actions, applying a systematic approach to their musical activities, and during this involvement they are not drifting in lack of interest, but recognizing their self-integration in the musical activity as a result of their actions. So this overview of skilled tasks and engaging interactions between musicians and their instruments have been starting point in or departure point for our research project. Is called NOISA. It is a network of intelligent sonic agents. It is an interactive system that produces meaningful and counteractions, attempting to deepen and maintain performance engagement with the new interfaces. So in this project we specifically focus on musical creation as the high-skilled activity to engage in. And we aim to amplify the experience mediating between the performer and the activity throughout this interactive system. There are two main components in this interactive system. One is the engagement prediction module, which actually monitors the level of engagement of the performer in real time in the musical activity. And the second main component is the response module, which responds and aims to respond in a subtle but more meaningful way, such as if the performer loses the individual interest or motivation, so that the system reacts by changing the physical control behavior of the interface in order to make the interaction interesting again. Engagement prediction module is based on the model that we developed earlier with a subjective engagement sampling method, which estimates performance engagement in real time by monitoring the movements, facial expression, and control actions. And it is a subjective sampling method, meaning that earlier we invited 21 participants with various musical backgrounds to play with our NOISA system. And during these playing sessions, we recorded the data of all the movement attributes, as well as we recorded each session. We had a video recorded. We also video recorded each session. And after each session, we projected these video materials back and asked participants to continuously rate the movements that they found more engaged during their own activity. So in other words, we actually made them to watch their own performance and ask them to provide a self-assessment of their own engagement, which helped us to collect a set of data in order to come up with this sampling method. The response module actually uses the engagement prediction as an input, but similar to other interactive systems, it has two phases, as how to respond and when to respond. We aim to address how to respond by obtaining an even texture in all frequencies in the moment of musical interaction, so that the performer is still at the heart of the interaction in this musical activity, and the responses are more complementary to the musical activities that performer is providing. When to respond is based on the engagement level, so that if the system recognizes that the engagement level is dropping, so that not engaged, so it aims to provide more further attentive activity to gain the engagement back. But during our studies, we noticed that if a performer is deeply engaged in their own musical activities, then the system aims to provide more merely supporting responses. We had a chance to develop the response model further, and at the moment we have been analyzing a study that we have run. We invited expert musicians to play with our noise system, and in order to understand if the response modules, aesthetically or meaningful responses, are the ones that they are actually more, they fulfill their expectation or not. Just going to show you a very short clip. One of the important aspects in the projects that we are conducting in our research group, not only for this interactive system, but for the other instruments that we develop, we aim to write a certain composition with that particular instrument. We aim to reflect the main characteristics of that system, and we write compositions for that. And this has been another topic that has been discussed recently about idiomatic composition for new musical instruments. And the main idea behind is to create a certain vocabulary for a repertoire that could actually reflect the novel instrument's main identities. So just about the instrument, we aim to all right, I will wrap it up, but very basically, so there are two control handlers. So the left handler actually is the one that is the sound producing event, and the right handler is actually modulating the sound that is produced with the left handler. So just for a seed of thoughts or discussion today for tomorrow, but the main idea about this talk was to actually how we could amplify the interaction we have with these new instruments. And on the other hand, also the way that the relationship we have with instruments that results in a creative activity, and that takes time and effort. So with this sort of interactive system could also support to many people to be involved in any creative activities as well. And the composition ideas for NIME is definitely necessary thing to consider, which could basically reflect the identity of each NIME themselves. But, thank you.